Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
But inside is so delightful.
It's Christmas in July.
Let's review.
Let's review
Let's review.
Season 7.
Bum.
Bum.
My God, 7 seasons, Dragon. That's just unreal. I don't even know why we started doing this in the first place, and yet here we are.
We've officially
Here we
been
are.
on as long as the Flash now.
Oh no. Oh God. Oh, that's actually kind of awful. All right, so folks, we're getting a strong one out of the gate here for Christmas in July 2020. Oh boy, season 7. I can't even get over that. Um, we're not doing just a typical TV special. Oh no, we're not doing just your standard Christmas themed episode. We're doing what essentially amounts to a full-blown sequel to one of the beloved childhood favorites of the 80s, all done within 4 minutes in the guise of an Xfinity commercial. We're talking about E.T., A Holiday Reunion. Oh man. So Dragon, just to dive right into my thesis for this honestly might be my favorite commercial ever made, bar none. It really, it's just what it does, man. It's like I feel like in this era of nostalgia baiting and just like, hey, we got to reboot this, we got to reboot that. Dragon, I want more of this. Like I want Wayne's World to have a commercial this good. Like we don't need a full Wayne's World 3, but man, we could, or Austin Powers or any of those 90s characters. I don't know. I just and ET is just something special, of course. ET is way beyond the caliber of any of those characters I just mentioned. And Dragon, my God, to get the original Elliot actor reunited with that damn puppet, it's just something beautiful, man. It's just it's a Christmas sequel for the ages. It's done in a little over 4 minutes, and I just love it to death.
Oh yeah, this it's definitely a Hall of Famer in terms of the commercials, and of course, Christmas does have kind of a reputation of kind of iconic commercials. Look at the M&M commercial with with the M&Ms meeting Santa. Look at the the Norelco razor. I mean, there's a lot to love, and this is kind of in the upper echelon of being kind of the iconic holiday commercial for sure. It's a recent addition, but it's a big one.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, of course, not a whole lot of background. Just again, Comcast, which obviously has ties to Universal. They kind of pitched the idea to Spielberg, who approved it, which definitely carries a lot of weight. He loved the idea of shooting a little holiday sequel done right. This comes out 2019, last year. The holiday ad that swept the nation, that touched all with
Oh,
the
I was
theme of.
blown away by it, man. I was freaking out online when this thing dropped.
What's really cool is they also played this in theaters too, which
Oh,
is even
nice,
better. Yeah.
nice.
Or no, it's like an abridged. I think it might have been an abridged version for the theaters. Sometimes they played the long version, the
Well,
short version.
I
So
know they play the abridged version on TV, and it always disappointed me because I wanted to see the whole thing, like when I was watching Survivor or something. But
sometimes I
alas.
think you get kind of a combination of both in theaters. So when you have the full
uh,
version in theaters, you can imagine the effect of, oh god, you got an ET. Like while you're seeing one movie, you get like
an
an
ET
ET.
short film, yeah.
Yes, which is fantastic.
And that's by all purposes what this thing is. I mean, sure, it's got some product placement in it, but so do all movies. So it's
Very
like
true. Very true. What do you call Reese's Pieces in the original
exactly,
ET movie?
exactly.
What's the problem? What's the problem?
I mean, by all intents and purposes, this pretty much is a short film holiday sequel. It's
Yeah.
genius.
It is. It is, and so rare, and so even more rare having it done right. I mean, I can't think of a
Uh-huh.
proper example to kind of measure it against, but it's
Oh,
phenomenal.
I really can't either. I'm sure it's been done,
I
but I
mean,
don't
I've
know.
seen it. The closest I've seen to like a short sequel, or again, it was like the kind of the very disappointing by comparison, the Ferris Bueller's Day Off quote unquote sequel they did with for the Super Bowl. You remember that?
Vaguely,
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying. That's the
yeah.
only thing I can really think of in terms of like a short sequel of a commercial where it's like, yeah, is it though? Anyway. Okay,
All
so
right.
folks, like we do on Christmas in July, we like to kind of break it down. So let's break it down. So we have Elliot Jr. and his sister Maggie. They're basically two kids having a snowball fight. There will be spoilers, folks, so beware. And again, we left you a
Yeah,
copy of it.
spoilers for a 4 minute commercial.
True, true, but again, a monolithic 4 minute commercial. Okay, so we have like a Christmas decorated house because you like to kind of earmark kind of the cool Christmassy stuff. So nicely. I love the warm lighting too. A really nice warm lighting of the Christmas snowball fight outside. The lights begin to blink, and then we have some
Oh yeah.
familiar light towards the back of the house. The toys are going haywire in the kids' rooms. The electric trains are going
So
off.
Spielbergian, Dragon. It's so Spielbergian.
That it is. Can anyone else hear Close Encounters? Because I can. So, so then we reveal the real the Elliot Senior. We reveal, of course, Elliot portrayed by Henry Thomas. Of course, Henry Thomas, 37 years later. Man, this he's such a good actor because currently he's on Stargirl. He does the voice of kind of the Jarvis-like character in Stargirl because he played Dr. Midnight. And also, remember, he was the original Norman Bates, the original young Norman Bates before
Oh
Heinlein
yeah.
entered.
Right.
Henry Thomas, he's A-okay in my book. I love this guy. So, of course, the original kid from E.T. all grown up. 37 years later, something to love about that. And his wife, Grace, they kind of take note of like, oh, God, things are amiss.
So I love this performance from him because it's so palatable to what he probably experienced in real life growing up with this role and growing up with like the magnitude of him embodying the childhood wonder of the world over in the 80s. So man, I can't imagine how proud he must have felt to really bring things full circle.
You got to remember, Spielberg, he really did a head trip when he directed these kids. I mean, in a way that obviously delivered wonderful results, but in a sense that, he shot E.T. essentially chronologically for the kids, as in each day they spent with E.T. in that movie, they spent with that E.T. puppet, and of course, when they had to say goodbye to it, it's like taking away the puppy.
And I'm sure the death scene as well.
I know, that's harsh. What I'm saying. So there's and like yeah.
Still to this day, I consider that the harshest fake out death of all time.
You should have seen what happened to Drew. Drew Barrymore took it harshest of all, by the way. Like,
oh God!
Really, after like Spielberg, she was crying in the Spielberg's arms.
Oh God!
It's like a whole thing. Anyway, so of course, one other thing to hit to while we're getting into it, the reunion. Well, let's reintroduce them first. Okay, yeah. Okay, so the kids grab a flashlight. They track the footprints in the snow, very similar, little kind of footprints. And then we have a snowman, and the snowman with very familiar-looking long arms. And then we reveal
this is just like such a great shot, man. It's such a well-composed shot.
And again, you, the audience member, expected, okay, well, once you find it's an E.T. commercial, party is wondering, okay, it's going to be like a CG E.T. like they couldn't go, but no. It's E.T., folks.
Right.
Yes, and we have E.T. revealed, and they all scream, ah! And of course, E.T. doing. So what they did for E.T., the effects-wise, so this is a this is a practical rod puppet, so it's an actual, everything you're seeing is real. But what they've done is they've plussed him very subtly at CG. Basically added maybe a little. Nice. He is actually blinking, but maybe like the speed of the blink is altered in CG. But the main thing they've added is like when he yells and he screams like ah, like you'll notice like breath, like they added breath and stuff. Like they added the subtle details, and obviously got rid of the rods and the guys puppeting him in the back and wearing all. Sure. That's basically that's the only. He's basically CG plussed, but he is not a CG character, which is fantastic.
That's amazing. And
of course, as you can imagine, E.T. done way easier than he was back then. Before he was just kind of chicken wire and dried Play-Doh. Now he's like practically kind of like the way they do it now.
So of course, after the brief initial freak out, E.T. looks up and says, "Elliot."
Is the boy's wearing his red hoodie?
Yeah, and Dragon just. I can't. I'm getting a little bit choked up.
I know, dude. Right? That's the I was taking notes for it. Like, oh God, because here's the
just like seeing adult Elliot reunite with E.T. My God, it's like everything that the Star Wars sequel trilogy should have provided, with like seeing all those characters back together in a moment. In a moment, it's like, oh, it's so satisfying.
So this is something I've seen like lampooned from like on Freakazoid, for example. They've done like Spielberg directing. It's in the episode Nerdator, where basically you have Spielberg gets kidnapped, and before he gets kidnapped, he's directing a scene from E.T. 2, where basically E.T. is returned, but Elliot's like he's in college at this point, compared to the 90s, but like 20 years instead of the 30. And he's like Elliot, and says, "E.T., I've outgrown." He's making out with his girlfriend on the couch. It's like, "I've outgrown you, man." That's what I'm saying. This is like the best version of it now. Like, this is like the most heartwarming version of the reunion.
Totally,
like that was like
totally.
a jokey version. This is like the version you want to have. I'm like, oh God, if he saw his friend again, yeah, Henry Thomas hasn't seen his old co-star in 37 years, and he rushes, and he looks just like he did, and he runs to him, and like, you came back, and this in a moment you see Henry Thomas become that little kid again.
Yeah,
That's magic.
absolutely.
This is the bit that melts my heart for the whole thing. Just the idea that Elliot has had a family and he's introducing E.T. to his family. This is like blowing E.T.'s mind. Is like introduces this is my family, and of course this sets up for the full circle payoff we learn later in the ad with again like E.T. has his own family. I love that they've paralleled each other in life, which I'm gonna get all misty out when we get to that point later.
Oh God.
Kids are walking E.T. into the house, and it's so cute, and instantly plant comes back life. So there's a lot of wonderful reverence to the original E.T., as you probably guess. Like the plants are coming back, like they're getting like all these little nods. Tiki, there are gobs of nods within the set itself. Like if you freeze frame, there are a lot of really great Easter eggs as well. Like there's like a Dungeons and Dragons board game. There's like a picture of the dog who's no longer around, but like I think it's Spielberg and the dog.
Nice, yeah.
Like stuff like that, like all through, like the ball that E.T. threw back to Elliot, like that's somewhere in the house. Like I don't know if they actually got. A part of me thinks they actually got the original props for this too, but I can't prove it. All I know is either flawless recreation or they actually got some of the original props from Universal for this commercial. I can't. Anyway,
so out comes a product placement, Dragon.
But what's so great about this, though, they're updating E.T. on what's changed, and of course, classic E.T. was Elliot showing him kind of the advents of the 80s.
Dragon,
so
if it didn't have the big Xfinity logo on the upper right hand corner,
I get it. But by the same token, though, again, like him showing him technology, which, okay, well, it happens to be old technology, a little kind of linked via Xfinity. I'll take it, but still.
Again, Reese's Pieces, one of the most iconic parts of E.T. Come on.
I know, again, and speaking of which, so of course, we're showing you, like, the internet with, like, a little touchpad, little iPad with, like, Xfinity on it, and, the technology of it all.
This little moment was just so adorable and kind of like Baymax-esque, where the kid does the miming, like the internet is just so cool, it'll blow your mind, and he just a little like like mind-blowing meme, and then E.T. mimics it.
Yep,
and the parents are just like so charmed by that.
Then we have the dinner tables. I want to also throw this in there with like all the loving nods. Of course, we lost Alan Davio this year, and I think they replicated the lighting so perfectly for what Davio did as a cinematographer for ET. Like scenes like the dinner table, and like of course when we go out to the backyard later, especially that sort of stuff looks just like the movie, but now in Christmas.
So ET's just chowing down cupcakes.
Yeah, like a Reese's Pieces covered cupcake.
All right, this T-Rex thing, virtual reality, I don't know if it's like Xfinity or not, but because I don't know, it's a little bit better in the product placement department. And it's a little nod. It's a cute little nod. It's like, oh, look, E.T.'s being scared by the T-Rex.
Another Spielberg. And basically, it's like tied into the Jurassic World of it all, which again would be the modern equivalent to Jurassic Park. So yet again, it tracks with the update of the Spielberg verse updated.
And then, of course, Dragon, we get my fucking favorite Christmas song, White Christmas, the song against a montage, and oh my God, Dragon, that shot of E.T. in the blue coat, like shaking off the snow, like I'm sure it's somewhat CG, but it's so convincing.
Yeah, that's not like. But again, there's like a moving head, so it could be. That's what I'm saying. It's plussed a little bit, but for the most part, pretty real. So again, like it's like the next morning we have this ethereal snow frolic going on. E.T. and his little parka, and they're dumping snow on him, and like they're going. E.T.'s going sledding with the kids, and then as White Christmas plays, not just White Christmas, the original White Christmas, not from the movie White Christmas, from Holiday Inn.
Yeah, that was a deep cut, man. That was a deep cut.
Absolutely.
Then Elliot and E.T. kind of have like a little bit of a knowing look on the couch when everyone else is asleep.
This is what touches me here. This moment here. So they have this cozy couch image of using the voice remote, which I do have, by the way, using the voice remote to put on holiday movies. Of course, Holiday Inn pops up for the original White Christmas, sung by Bing Crosby in black and white. So it's So again, as they're watching this, like the Elliot's family are all asleep, all cozied up on the couch in front of a fireplace. There's a fireplace in the movie that they're watching. As E.T. and Elliot share this is the chokes. They share this moment of each other's looking to each other. It's like, look how far these two friends have come in
Yeah,
life.
yeah,
And in part, like this, this gets E.T. a little homesick, thinking of his own family, which leads us to that great reveal that E.T. with his own advancement in technology, his Xfinity equivalent, if you will, of the little holographic, the little holographic projection orb, or a little holographic projection ball thing, a little green projection of his own family that he's had. And this is the beauty here. This is what also chokes me up is that it's the kinship and connection of this duo of Elliot and E.T. that
they're both fathers, man. They're both fucking fathers.
Okay, get ready for this. Okay, get the inside out tissues ready. Here's the thing that occurred to me on the note taking process. Like, even 37 years later, I mean, they're still copying each other like they did in the movie. And if you, we don't know this for sure because that girl's uncredited in the movie, but for all I know, the girl that that E.T. was thinking romantically watching some old movies, and of course, while this is happening, Elliot was at school and he kissed the girl of his dreams.
Yes.
And she was blonde, and you have Grace here, who was also blonde. And for all we know, it's the same girl from the frog scene. But that's what I'm saying. Regardless, it's the fact the two of them are still they're still kind of copying each other after all these years.
Right.
And also in that room, it's framed on the wall, the drawing that and this is what makes me thought of it. Okay, here's what made me thought of it. The drawing that Elliot did of E.T. in school in that scene is hanging on the wall.
Oh man, that's great.
So again, E.T. saying family, home, and of course the understanding of the two friends when they hug each other, knowing this has to be done. So now the kids. Man. Okay, so the kids are woken up by E.T. round around. They go to the shed out back again. That Davio lighting, man, that Davia lighting. So then, of course, the original bike. Again, I don't know if it's a proper recreation. I want to say it's the actual bike, but it's the original type of bike. E.T. points to the sky, and we, the audience, know where this is going. Elliot and the kids. Oh God, they're Elliot Jr. and the daughter. They're going off. They're flying in front of the moon. They as Elliot and Grace see the kids just flying past the moon on their bikes.
Yeah. Really, really wonderful stuff. Great compositions. The two kind of give a little fist bump as they fly away. They're like ducking under branches.
Yep, and they all, and of course, Elliot shows up at the pickup spot to see E.T. off, and of course, we have the magical callback. With such a wonderful payoff too, where he says, to young Elliot Jr., I'll be right here. Of course, with the finger glow and everything, E.T. walks to his spaceship. It's a TV commercial, so we can't go the full effect, but still, you know where it's going. It looks good enough. It looks perfectly fine as is. But here's the thing: so Elliot's, and I love how Henry Thomas here, his Elliot's face is so, with the similar lighting and everything, just looking at his friend going off. But again, as a grown man instead of like that little kid from the movie, as E.T. leaves and they're they're
like as a little kid there was definitely a twinge of sadness, but as an adult he's got nothing but pride for his friend, man.
Because he gets it, man. That's the thing. Now as a man, he understands exactly why, and it's like E.T.'s leaving for a different reason. It's not just out of pure homesickness. It's homesick for what you define as home, which is family, and that's what the whole thing's about. And again, that John Williams theme coming in, which is fantastic. Of course, played earlier as well, which is great. And then we have the fun surprise, the fun twist on "I'll Be Right Here," where we reveal Junior's chest is glowing, which is odd, and then we reveal E.T. slipped him a holographic orb. So he literalized, I'll be right here, as in anytime you want to see me, little holographic orb. Nice. And E.T. waves hello, and then we have the money shot of the photo on the fridge. And I believe, I want to say the photo on the fridge to the right of it is Spielberg with the dog.
Oh, God. You're probably right. Yeah.
There's this photo on the fridge of the family and E.T. in the park in the snow. And, of course, big little last thing comes on the screen. Reconnect for the holidays. Xfinity. Like, there's branding with nobility right there.
Oh, God. All right, man. So, boy, howdy. I mean, that was only 4 minutes, but it sure was a lot of tropes. You want to list them out?
Yes, absolutely. Of course, we got snow. It's a big one.
Snow, we've got let's see, the Christmas visitor for the holidays, of course.
We do. We have
Holiday
White Christmas.
reunion, holiday reunion,
Mm-hmm.
White Christmas, both the song and Holiday Inn, the movie.
Oh yeah.
Let's see, dinner table scene.
Sure. I mean, it's around. It's a holiday dinner, technically. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the main course is, but
I'm
they're
kind of
having.
stretching here, Dragon. We
I mean,
only
they're
have
having
4 minutes,
cake.
so
Okay, it's a festive. It's a festive treat they had. I don't know. Must be a special occasion. I don't know. The tree in the couch shot. There's a Christmas tree behind him and a fireplace. A Christmas tree
of
fireplace.
course,
All
a
cozied up.
plane in the snow montage. We gotta have a plane in the snow montage.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, for sure. That's. I think. I mean, there's. Oh god, there's. So
A Christmas goodbye.
yes, the holiday goodbye and essentially the Christmas card photo.
Right, right. Right. So, Dragon, you know what? If only there was a. Yeah, we do such a good job of cataloging all these tropes and whatnot, but it would be great if there was some sort of catch-all term that we could use to describe this whole shindig of ours.
Yeah, I know, Tiki. I have agonized for 7 long years now. What the heck we're gonna call this process? 'Cause what we just did was so fun, wasn't it fun?
Sure.
Absolutely. I mean, just also Luke, my final thoughts here because we should also probably say that.
Oh yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
my bad.
Yeah, so again, this is such a holiday anomaly in all the right ways. Not only does it does the impossible of an ET sequel over 37 years later, almost 40 years, doesn't feel like a cheap cash in at all. Yet again, it's being set during the holidays. It captures the meaning of the holidays using just kind of the stuff that's already on the table with the ET movie and all the kind of nostalgia that it mines so wonderfully, using all the hallmarks of the property, if you will. It's the inspiring message that we need now with this commercial is Tiki, that even with limitations or an agenda from a studio, which of course is like sell Xfinity, but do what you want, but sell Xfinity, there's hope that we can produce something with a heart, despite having having an agenda that connects to people, celebrates a nostalgic love, and rekindles what was special about it in the first place. Of course, with a commercial with such amazing stay power of the warm and fuzzy holiday ad that could never get old, no matter how many times you watch it. Of course, you and I just rewatch it, we're getting choked up and emotional over it all. But yeah, I mean, Tiki, saying all that, how do we not have a name for this process? I mean, I'm beside myself. You got anything?
What about, I'm going to take inspiration from this Nightmare Before Christmas clip we got going on here,
Oh yeah, we do
Dragon.
have that there. Yeah, what do
What
you
if we
got?
put the mistletoe underneath the microscope?
I like it.
All right. Sounds like a plan, folks. So next time on Christmas in July.
La 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 la
La la la
la la
la
la
la
la
la la.
I'll be
Ho ho
right here.